everyone, it's Jenna with Damnation Vault, and I am here with Jules of Catalyst,
Hi everyone.
France. How are you doing today? Or tonight, I
Really
guess it is
fine.
in your time.
Yeah, really fine. Here, everything is good. It's almost night here. It's 9 p.m.,
Oh,
but
wow.
everything is fine.
Yeah, it's only 2 o'clock here in North
Yeah,
Dakota.
there's 7 hours of difference
Yeah,
between you and me.
yeah. So you are going to release your new album, A Different Painting for a New World, on October 14th.
Yeah,
And so, first of all, let's talk about the album artwork and how you connect with it and how it
yeah,
embodies the entire album.
yeah. The artwork was made by a guy here in France called Vincent, who has a company named Above Chaos, and he has worked with a lot of artists like Sugar, Campfire, bands like that. And we really liked his art, and we have already worked with him for the first album in 2019 that was named The Great Purpose of the Road. And we wanted to continue with him because he knows how to perfectly illustrate the story we tell about the Catalyst in our albums. And so this new artwork here is symbolizing the battle between the Catalyst and the creators, so the two characters of the story we tell in our songs.
Yeah, I read through your lyric booklet and everything. Like, there definitely is a concept to it. Like, how did you first come up with doing that and
Um,
writing all that?
I wanted to have something to write about because I didn't want it to talk about politics or religion, things like that. It's not something that I'm interested in. So I wanted to have something a bit original. It's not like a new thing or something like that. But I wanted to have a story to write, and I have uh, I have something I can. I can write about, and it helped me to compose, to write my songs. Yeah, I think in the end, it's something that is good for my songwriting and my the way I look to the song and the way I feel it. I think it was not something really important at the beginning when I started the band, but now it's something that is really part of the band, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's like your video for to unleash thy heinous fates. It that has some dark imagery to it with it looks like zombies like coming out of the ground
Yeah,
into the
totally.
sky. Like,
Yeah, totally. It's zombies.
yeah, how do you feel that like captures the essence of what that song is about?
Um, For us, it was important to have a good video for this song because it's the first song of the album first, and it's about the first chapter of this new story written in this album. And if you want, it's kind of a warning, a last warning sent to humanity about what is coming between the battle of the catalyst and the creator. And this last warning is this nightmare they can see in the sky with the bodies elevating to the sky, and we wanted to have the ability to make it for a video because we found it can be cool. And so we have a guy that worked on those special effects for the video, and that has created those zombies from nothing. So yeah, pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, that song is like really heavy too. Like,
Yeah, it's one of the most brutal song of the album.
yeah, your album is so diverse. Like, it goes from super brutally fast and heavy to like kind of melodic with like the last warning, and then
Yeah,
like right
yeah.
after that goes back to like super fast. Yeah, what were some of the like inspirations to create your music like that?
Um, I have I think that most of my inspirations come from the old school death metal. I'm not i- too much into modern black metal or death metal and things like that. I like it, but I don't think it's something that inspired me for writing those songs. And I always say that my two biggest influences for the music are Machine Head and Isoders. So it's kind of far from what we do in Catalyst because it's way more death metal, way more brutal. But I've learned a lot from how they write the song, how Isoders was writing the song, how Machine Head writes the the Blackening, for example. And yeah, I think my biggest inspiration are from those bands, and I'm also well, I was playing a lot of video game in the past. Not now. I don't have time now for for that, unfortunately. But I am really inspired by the Zelda series. You know, from the video game, and I love the soundtracks and I love the ambience, and I think that is the reason why there is a lot of melodic part in our music. I think it's the most clear thing in my head to explain why I write songs this way. And of course, I have a lot of death metal influence like Dying Fetus, Opeth, the band Death, things like that. But it's not that it's not something that is that have a lot of importance for me. It's quite different in my head.
Okay. Yeah. Some of the like I'm getting all tongue tied. um, like you're like going back to like the concept of that
Mhm.
album and everything, because reading through that the PDF anyway that I received, it tells a story and then it shows the lyrics and like what were some things that really inspired some of those songs? Like what, or rather, what was an experience that inspired you to write a specific song, I guess you could say?
You mean I'm not really sure to get the question. You mean how I managed to write those songs
Yeah,
and to match it with the lyrics?
like earlier you were saying like how you wanted to better find a way instead of arguing about politics. Like
Yeah, yeah.
what were some of, is there an experience that inspired some of those songs?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to write something that is between sci-fi, you know, and fantastic uh, kind of writing stories. And I don't really know where the inspiration comes from directly for the lyrics part. Um, but I'm just trying to yeah to escape from real life to create something just in my head that that has nothing to do with my own experience, I think. And the important part is just to make something pretty epic that can match with the music, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't
It's
really know if it's answer perfectly your question, but
yeah, it works.
yeah.
um it's it is really, really heavy. I mean, it sounds downright demonic in some parts.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
But yeah, it's awesome. Like, what would you say like is one of the main messages you want to portray through this entire
um, for the music part, I think that the important message and what we want to be as a band is like the thing you are trying to describe is that we are really brutal. There is a lot of brutality in this music, but there is a lot of light inside also, and it's really important to have this kind of balance between between this chaos we create in the song and the relief we have throughout those kind of melodic passage and a part of the songs. I don't think there is quite for the lyrics part a real message behind it, because yes, sure, we can maybe think that there is similarities from the story and the reality with things going on in our world for the moment, but that is not something that I really wanted to to match. I didn't want it to match with the reality, but things are the way it is, and I think that currently we live sometime in a space of chaos, and so it's the same thing for the music.
Okay. Yeah, that was gonna be one of my questions was like, is there a song that you feel really relates to what's going on in the world right now?
No, and you know, the most part of the album was written before the pandemic and before everything. I started to write this album just before or after. I don't really remember the release of the first album, so it was in 2019. And so most of the songs, except from one, was written before the pandemic. So it doesn't have a real connection with it, but it just simply follows the first part of the story written in the first album. And well, sure, there might be influence in relation with what we live, but not for the pandemic part and for the actual things we are enduring, since it was written before.
Okay. Yeah. Um, and are you going to be releasing another video anytime soon?
Yeah, actually, there is more video planned. Personally, I would dream to have one video per song. It would be really awesome, but I'm not sure I will be able to do that because it's a lot of time, a lot of money, and everything is complicated to cover a full album regarding videos. But still, for tomorrow, for this Friday, so it will be on October 7th. We have a small video. It's just a small video with a visualizer with the artwork for a song. So it's just
Okay.
it's just something more for the people to listen to the album before it's released. And we have a good and pretty long video coming for the last song and eponymous song, so a different painting for a new one. And I think this one will be out for the end of the month.
Okay. And are there any details of the concept for that one you can share?
Yeah, it's not a problem for you to share. And I think it's interesting to talk about it because the song "A Different Painting for a New World," I think that personally it's like the climax of this album. It's the most important part. It's the reason why the name of the album is for that song. And in the story, I won't spoil everything for what is going on for the people that might be interested in reading this story. But the final song of this album is telling a kind of a fall and failure for the catalyst, so the main character. And it will be a video that is really dark, really black, with a character having kind of a journey in the void, in the space. And it will be something kind of minimalistic, really dark, not a lot of things written on it, but I think it's about to be really cool. The video is not done yet. I don't have the full video. I have a part of the video now. It's still on production, but yeah, it will. I think it will be a different videos from what we've done for the first two singles of the album, and I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to see it because I
Me
love
too. Me too.
yeah, because I love the video for To Unleash the Heinous Fate.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was awesome. And I have to point out that your shirt is awesome too. And being a diehard fan, like what are some of your favorite Down songs?
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say because usually for the fun story and the fun fact, I was a lot listening to Down with my father because my father is also a metalhead, and he also he always played the song, on vinyls. So in the house, in my parents' house, there is music all the time, and albums are passing by, and we don't really get the song. So I don't quite remember the you know the the song this way. I just listen to the full album, and I don't really know how to separate one song from another. It's something I'm pretty bad to to learn the titles.
Well, it's amazing music, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, what are some songs that really like inspired you when you were growing up to play guitar?
Um. mm, mm, mm. My first band was like for a lot of people was Metallica, but that is really the thing that got me into metal. Although when I was really young, I was already listening to Linkin Park a lot, but I was really really young. I was about 6 and 7 years old, but I really loved their music. And when I was about 11, 12, I started to listen to metal, and I started with the song "Whenever I May Roam" from Metallica from the Black Album. That's the first metal song I know. I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome!" And that's how I began to listen to metal. And after that, I just discovered the other bands. So yeah, Megadeth, all the classics like this. And I got into death metal maybe when I was 14, 15 with Cannibal Corpse and those things like that.
Nice. Which Cannibal Corpse with Corpse Grinder or Chris Barnes?
No, I think it was still Chris Barnes because yeah, it was about from the first album with yeah, with the really brutal songs like yeah, I'm a smash face, fuck with a knife, so songs, and I think yeah, it was Chris Barnes and fuck with a knife. I don't
Yeah,
remember. Yeah, so yeah, it was those songs first, and I pretty liked Cannibal Corpse at the beginning. Yeah, it was a fine band for me, but later when I was about yeah, I think 16 years old, I heard the song. Scourge of Iron that is really, really awesome. And it's so this one is pretty modern. It was from the Torture album from 2012, I think, something like that. Yeah,
okay,
and it's with this song. So some years later that I really got into Cannibal Corpse.
nice. Yeah, what were like what was it about metal that really drew you into it? That
Mm,
did you like go to a concert and like
uh,
just be like, "Oh my God, I have to do this," or what was that?
No, yeah, you know what? I will just complete the story I was telling you just before with the song "Whenever I May Roam" because yeah, it can be quite fun. Um, so when I was young, I didn't have friends that was listening to metal. No one. The only person I know listening to metal was my father, and he was working in his own disc shop. He has a shop, so. Um, you know, as I said, in my parents' house, there was always music all day long, from from the morning till the evening. It was always about music playing in the house. And when I was really young, so when I was yeah like 9 years old, 10 years old, I didn't care much about music. And suddenly, just suddenly like that, one day I told myself, yeah, I would like to listen to Metallica. It's a band I heard about. Yeah, I would like to hear some Metallica. So I was in my house. I told my father, yeah, do you have some Metallica albums I can take and listen? And he gave me the Black Album. I took the Black Album. I put it on my computer, then on my phone. and I went outside just to to chill outside with some friends, and I listened to the album. Yeah, I was okay. It's cool. And when I was on the song, whenever I made room, I was completely blew away, and it was like, wow, I really love this song. And after that, I keep I was keeping stealing CDs from my father and listening to a lot of things. And that's simply how I got into metal. And I was in my first show some years later. I think I was so this story. I was about 11 years old, and I was to my first show at 14 or 15, I think. So yeah, it was some years later.
Okay. What was your first show?
Um, it was a small festival near my area, and there was Sepultura at the for the headliner.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, that was really cool. And the other band that was just local band, and there was Sepultura as a headliner. So it was my first show, and the second one was a small festival. It was no, not a small festival. I mean, it was just one day, but for me, yeah, I just was here for one day. You know, in Europe, I don't. There is a lot of festival in different countries named Sonisphere. I
Right,
don't know
yeah.
if you, yeah. And there was for 3 years there was a Sonisphere in France, and I was at the for the second edition, and there were uh, we were having a Machine Head, Face No More, Meshuggah, and Marilyn Manson, I think. But I don't like Marilyn Manson, so it was mainly for Machine Head because it is one of my greatest band ever.
Nice. Yeah, Machine Head are amazing.
Yeah, I've seen them about 5 or 6 times now. I think every time they are here in France, I'm going to see them. It's always incredible, and their shows are out of
Yeah,
this world.
I'm excited because they're actually going to be coming to my area in Fargo,
Mm,
North Dakota on in November.
yeah, it's
Yay!
with Amon Amarth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah, me too. Me too. It's in 15 days for me. 15 days.
Oh
On
wow.
October. Yeah, on October 12th, I'm going to see them again.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So
really
here's
looking forward.
nice. So here's a question. So, being from France, like what would you say like has culturally inspired some of your music?
You mean if some parts on part of the culture from France can inspire my music?
Yeah, like the culture of France. Like
Mm,
has some of that rubbed off on your music or is it
I don't think so. I don't think so because here in France we have a good metal scene.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's a good metal scene. There is a lot of things to do here in France, but in the end, it's kind of small, and people here are just listening to French rap, things like that, and it's something that is really, really not interesting. And so, what I want to tell you is that musically, things in France are not pretty good. There is not a the French music is not good for me, and it's something I really don't have any connection with it. Even though I don't listen just to metal, I listen to a lot of things. But the French music is something I really can't stand. I really don't like French music, so really it's not something that can inspire me directly. Um, but yeah, we have a lot of great history in France, a lot of great things that can inspire a lot of artists. But since here we are telling a different story, something that is completely out of the of just one culture. I mean, there are not many things I think that can inspire me from the country directly.
okay? Yeah. Just was wondering because some bands, they incorporate their culture into their music. So
Yeah, and I think it can be really interesting because there is a lot of things, but it's not the case for this band especially.
okay.
But yeah, I completely understand, and there are a lot of great things in France. Uh, I think it's a really rich country, and I completely understand and get why some people can get inspired from what is going on in the French history and things like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think those are all of my questions that I have. Would you
Mm.
like to say anything else, put any other message out to the world?
Oh, first of all, thank you very much for the interview. It
Yeah,
was
thank
really nice.
you.
It was a lot of original questions, so I really like it. It was
Oh,
really, yeah,
thank you.
really nice to talk to you. And I'm just looking forward now. Sorry, I'm just looking forward now to release the album, and I hope that you like it, and I hope that the people hearing us will like it too. And just don't hesitate to give a feedback to talk about it. It's really cool.
Okay, and then I'm going to put this out there. When you guys do a United States tour, you got to come to Fargo.
Okay, sure, I will note that.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Like your album
It was
is
really nice.
amazing. It's so brutal, so heavy. Like it's
I'm
awesome.
really happy. I am really happy you liked it, and yeah, I hope other people will find the same thing and think the same from this album. Uh, it's yeah, you know, it's like my own child. I took a lot of time to create it. This one, and with my other musicians too. They are really implied in the band, and yeah, it's just so nice to be here now, 10 days before the release, to talk to you and just to take time to talk about all that. It's really, yeah, it's a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Like yeah, I'm super excited to see the new video too that you're going to be releasing for the title
Yeah,
track. Yeah, it sounds
yeah,
really
me
cool.
too. Yeah, me too. I think it will be, seriously though. I think it will be. It will be a bit simpler, but I think it's a cool project. Something, yeah, totally
Yeah,
different from the first two videos. And
yeah,
normally it will be out for this month.
okay. Yeah, it's a really cool concept album too. Like the story and everything. There's so much depth
Yeah.
behind it.
Uh, a question: you have received a file with all the lyrics?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you have a file with all the lyrics and the story. Uh,
Yep.
yeah. Okay. I just didn't remember if I give this file to David.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just don't remember. Didn't remember. Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
Because for as you can see, it's important for us to talk about the story and it's important for for people listening to the album and that want to carefully listen to the album to have the lyrics to go with,
Yeah,
because yeah, now you can see how much it can influence. It has an influence on the song, you know. It has really an influence on
definitely.
the song. Yeah, so perfect.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you too, and have a great day. So since it's 2 p.m. and a half here, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you have a wonderful evening or night rather.
yeah, yeah. Thank you very much.
All right,
See
thank
you.
you. All
Goodbye.
right, bye.